Hey guys, it's Troy, welcome to London and welcome to another video where I'm just going to be telling you what the word charisma actually means, or at least how it was originally conceived, its etymology if you like. So the original root of the word is the Greek term charisma, but spelt with a K, and that denoted favour freely given, or the gift of grace, or to be favoured or blessed. So as you can see, initially the root of this term charisma referred to a sort of almost divine power that was God-given, that was given by an entity that was beyond human. And the very lucky human beings who were sort of sprinkled with that magic fairy dust, if you like, were the charismatic ones. And you know, when you think of somebody like Jesus Christ or one of the prophets, those people were clearly charismatic and they were anointed by God to be so. So that was the sort of the original root of charisma. And then Max Weber in 1892, who wrote on charisma in several of his works, said that the charismatic person is treated as endowed with supernatural or superhuman powers. So even into the late 19th century, the idea of charisma was imbued with a sense of the otherworldly, with a sense of the supernatural, with a sense of magic, if you like. Now, fast forward to today, or to, you know, 20th century and then into the 21st century, our conception of charisma is, at least on the surface, a little bit more prosaic. It basically just means somebody with status and power. We think of a TV personality, we think of a pop star, we think of an actor, and we describe those people as charismatic. We're not, on the surface of things, saying that they're gods or anything like that. We're just saying that, you know, they've got a bit of an X factor about them. But Olivia Fox Cabin, who wrote The Charisma Myth, describes charisma like this. She says it's about power, presence, and warmth. So those are the three components of charisma, and we will be talking about those more in coming videos. But power, charisma, and warmth, if you've got all those three things together, then, according to Olivia Fox Cabin anyway, then you have charisma. But this idea of divinity, this idea of magic, has sort of, as I say, on the surface of things at least, sort of slips out of the definition. Except, has it really? And this is the big question, because when we think of our movie stars, when we think of our great cultural icons, in a sense, in modern times, those people have replaced the gods. I've been reading Seduction by Robert Greene again recently, and he talks about John F. Kennedy, and he has a passage from a book on the myth of John F. Kennedy, where Kennedy is described as being something akin to a god, something akin to an otherworldly deity. So while we can say, you know, we live in an atheistic society, and you know, we don't have deities anymore, actually the reality is that our celebrities and people who are famous and well known in some ways are invested with that. And so is it enough to say that charisma is entirely divorced from this notion of the magical? And I would say it isn't, because actually, when you think about it, when we think of people that we perceive to be, or consider to be charismatic, there is a sort of a magical quality about them. Now, in the video yesterday, and throughout this series of videos and content, I'm going to be arguing strongly that charisma can be taught, and yes, absolutely it can. But that's not to reduce the importance of this sort of magical quality. And here's the thing, right? I believe that there is a sort of magic about charisma, but I believe that anybody can access it, that anybody can bring out that magic in themselves. Now, that's not easy, and it's particularly not easy if you are, you know, you're a bit restrained, if you suffer from low self-esteem or any of those things, but it is possible. And that is what I'm going to, you know, be creating some content on going forward, because I strongly believe, and in fact I'm absolutely convinced, that anybody can access it. But the reason that you're not accessing it at the moment, perhaps, is that you have repressed it. You've repressed an essential element of yourself. And, you know, and I've done this myself in my life in the past, so I know exactly why, and I know exactly how to unlock it. But it's because you're not fully in touch with yourself, and you're not able to be fully free with who you really are. But once you're able to do that, because most people in this day and age are repressed, if you're able to do it, that in itself is like a magic power, and that in itself will draw people to you. I mean, we think of, you know, if somebody just suddenly goes crazy in the street now and starts doing a mad dance and just throws themselves into it and starts whirling around, then all of these people around here are going to be drawn to it. They're going to go and approach that. They're going to stand around that person. They're going to think, wow, there's something kind of crazy about this, but it's kind of cool as well. Why? Because that person is entirely uninhibited. And if you can get to that stage of being uninhibited, then you release something that's a little bit akin to magic, and you become incredibly charismatic as a result. It is possible, guys, and we're going to get there together. Okay, I'll leave it for today. Do hit the subscribe button on the channel. Do hit notifications so you know when the next video is coming up. Do sign up for my daily email. So I send out an email Monday to Friday. Link below. And if you would like to get hold of my dating books, which are collected in a bundle called Renegade Dating Blueprint, hit the link below. It's only $39, but those books are being discontinued at the end of this year, so jump on board very quickly for all that good knowledge. I will see you soon. Bye bye.